Hey guys, welcome back to another weekly reading vlog. So this week I'm doing something, I don't know whether I would call it ambitious. I've been slumping for the last couple of weeks, which is maybe why I would call it ambitious, but I have 2 books left on my Bookopoly TBR. One of them is only released tomorrow, so I can't start it yet, and the other one I have started. I'm like 100 pages into it, but I'm going to be putting that down for now because this week I have a tome to tackle, and that tome, ow, great start. That tome is The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. So this is the second book in the Mistborn series. If you guys remember, way back in April, the very end of April last year actually, so it could be exactly a year since I read the first book in this series, because I remember that I finished it with a couple of hours left of the month, and I don't remember how big the final empire is, but it's going on for at least 700 pages. This one is 763, and I aim to have this done this week, which to be fair actually isn't too challenging because that's what, like 110 pages per day. Normally I would be able to do that, but as I mentioned, I've been slumping. So the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson, this is one of these series in his Cosmere. The Final Empire was one of my favorite books of last year. I absolutely adored it, and it follows a man called Kelsia who is putting together a group of allomancers to take down the Dark Lord and the Final Empire. So allomancers are people who can ingest metal and harness their abilities, and the way that the abilities manifest in here is really cool. Obviously I'm a little bit rusty because it's been a year since I read the Final Empire, but if you ingest iron or steel, then you get the ability to push or pull things. So I think iron is for pushing, steel is for pulling, and they drink little shards of metal in this solution, and that gives them ability to push and pull on these metals, which is pretty cool to start off with. But I was just blown away by the way that Brandon Sanderson utilized the magic system in the first book in this series, because you'll think like, yeah, pushing and pulling metal, fair enough, but they use it to fly through the air. So they will like push off iron objects to propel themselves backwards and pull on steel to like rein themselves back in, and they just like fly through the air. One of my favorite things about the Final Empire is just how cinematic all of the fight scenes were, because of all of the creative ways that Brandon Sanderson has utilized the magic system. But an allomancer can only harness the abilities of one metal. However, Kelsia himself is a Mistborn, and he can harness the abilities of all of the metals. I think is there 9 or 10 in total, with like possibilities of being more. And when he's putting together this group, he stumbles across a girl called Vin, and Vin has something which she describes as luck, which is actually allomancy, but she doesn't know that she's an allomancer. So essentially she's manifesting abilities from the very small amounts of metal that you find in water, and little things are happening around her, and she just thinks that she's got like a lucky spark. However, Kelsia recognizes that Vin is an allomancer, and not only is she an allomancer, she is actually another Mistborn. So he takes her under his wing, and she joins the crew to take down the Final Empire. The Final Empire wraps up in a way that not necessarily could be a standalone, because it definitely alludes to a much larger plot, which we're going to be getting into in the sequels, but there is kind of like a wrap up of a storyline in the Final Empire. So I have hints of the direction that this book is going to be going, but I don't know for sure just because of how certain plot threads were wrapped up in the first book. But I'm real excited to read this. I'm anticipating it becoming one of my favorite books of the year, and I think that Mistborn will also end up being one of my favorite series ever. I just need to finish the damn thing. I'm also reading this because I'm a co-host for the Stormlight read along. If you guys remember, towards the tail end of last year I was reading all of the Stormlight Archive books, and the Stormlight Archive in terms of the Cosmere is the series that starts to tie everything together. So there's multiple series in this extended universe called the Cosmere, and they're all kind of like self-contained stories with self-contained magic systems, but readers have always known that they're going to tie together somehow with them being called the Cosmere, and Stormlight Archive is the series that starts to bring these threads together. So I've currently read the first 3 books in the Stormlight Archive, and I'm about to read the 4th, Rhythm of War, but I believe that that is the first installment where we really start to see, like, there's been hints of it certain elements of it throughout the first 3 books so far, but I believe that the 4th book is the one where we really get to see how the Cosmere as a whole is going to play into that storyline. So the Stormlight read along, which is comprised of me, Catherine from xXCatherine, who created the whole thing, Kaz from the Little Book Owl, and Jade from Jaded Reader, have all decided that we are going to backtrack a little bit and we are going to be finishing off the Mistborn series. We'll be doing live shows for the individual books and then possibly reading Warbreaker as well, and then going back into Stormlight. So we've taken a little break. It's been a little while since we did the Oathbringer live show, but yeah, we are going back and finishing off Mistborn. So there will be a live show for this at some point. I have no idea when it will be yet, but I think it's going to be on Kaz from the Little Book Owl's channel, so do keep an eye out for that. I will link the Stormlight read along Twitter down below if you would like to be notified of when we do a live show for this. But I'm really excited because one of my favorite things about the Cosmere, aside from that I just love the books and love Brandon Sanderson's logic and magic systems and all of that, is the Easter egg hunting. And I really don't want to go into Rhythm of War without having read everything that I need to before it, so that I can really make the most of those Easter eggs, because I'm a big fan of that stuff. You guys know that I am. Where do you want to go?
Where are we going for dinners?
Five Guys?
If you want to.
People are commenting on that video that we did, saying that they just want to hear us talk about books. So you need to up your reading game.
Is it just books, or can it be anything?
Well, I have a booktube channel.
Trying to expanded.
You feel like you've got no hair?
I don't. This is stick on.
Just 2 millennials getting a Starbucks and listening to Westlife.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Continues your journey.
I'm a happy girl now. Onwards to York. Live my life without you. It's not that deep. Normally you just get a cheeseburger. Oh, you want bacon? Okay. Yeah, if you want. Choose your toppings. Hey, so I got back from York like not long ago, about 30 minutes ago, and I have a Zoom call in just over an hour with Tisha, Gavin and Ashley. We're just gonna have a glass of wine and a bit of a chat, but I wanted to come check in with you guys real quick because this arrived this morning and I didn't get time to unbox it before I went out. But this is from Kelsey. You all know Kelsey, the author of Fortuna Swan, who is a friend of mine, and she put together some promotional boxes for Deadly Dreams, which is the 3rd book in the Fortuna Swan series. She sent out to Bookstagrammers for promo, and she sent one to me as well. So I'm real excited about this to see what's in it. I mean, I pretty much already know what's in it because I think she told me when she was sending it, but I want to see it. I don't know how to get in this. There we go. Okay, so the first thing we have is a copy of Deadly Dreams. I'm so excited. I read the ebook of this. Kelsey sent me an e-arc, or just like an e-copy of it, just before it's released so that I could read it a little bit early, and the paperback wasn't out yet, and then she told me not to buy a paperback because she was going to send me one. Has she signed this one? She signed it as well. All of my paperbacks are signed because she sent them to me directly. slightly. Thank you so much to Kelsey in general for this box as well. But this is the 3rd installment in the Fortuna Swan series. It was released back in December, and Fortuna Swan, in case you guys don't know, I know a lot of you will, but in case you don't, it is a dark fairy romance story that is following a young woman called Fortuna, who is a nightmare, which means that she has the power to sense people's fears and manifest them as illusions in their mind. And her brother went missing 2 years prior to the start of the story. I can hear Hamilton throwing shit on the floor in there. 2 years prior to the start of this story, Fortuna's brother went missing, and she has been searching for him for 2 years and hasn't found a single trace of him until a very powerful fairy male approaches her and tells her that he can take her directly to her brother, providing that she marries him. One of my favorite series. I love it so much, and this is hella chunky. The paperback is 504 pages. She's thick and I appreciate it. So what else have we got in here? We have, oh my god, this is signed as well. We have a bookmark with the Fortuna artwork on it that Kelsey signed down here. On the back we have a quote from the book which says, "Like the nightmares that came at night, we were meant to be seductive. We were designed to lure our victims in, and then when it was too late to draw back, we struck." We also have this little autumn leaf. Oh my god! A little acorn. Oh my god, we've got this little pin badge that has artwork of Fortuna and Colith that Kelsey commissioned a while ago, which is absolutely stunning. I love this artwork. It's one of the only like pieces of artwork for the Fortuna Swan series available. And then 2 very exciting items. The first one is a lip balm, and it is called Fortuna, and oh, it's Fiction Bath Co that made it, and the flavor is vanilla maple. Oh, it's like super sweet. Delicious. I like this. I like this a lot. And then the last item we have is a candle, which, let me see, it smells kind of sweet as well, but I also can't tell whether I can just smell the lip balm that I've just put on my lips. But thank you so much, Kelsey, for sending me this. You honestly really did not have to. I was gonna buy a paperback anyway until you told me you were sending me one, but Kelsey's also included this little card that says thank you, and it says, "Dear Becca, I know you don't like mushy words or emotions, ew, so I'll make this short. Becoming friends with you was one of the best things to happen to me in 2020. I can't wait to have all the buddy reads in 2021. Love, Kels." Thank you, Kelsey. Yeah, Kelsey, you totally didn't have to do this, and you don't have to thank me for promoting Fortuna or anything, because like, we're friends now. So that was my book mail for the day. Reading wise, I'm on page 210 of the Well of Ascension. Really enjoying it, and I'm gonna try and get about an hour of reading done now before my Zoom call, because otherwise don't think I'm gonna get much reading done today, especially because I'm gonna have a glass of wine. I am making up a jug of wine spritzer because I'm not the biggest fan of wine and it can give me a little bit of a headache, so I'm making like a summer spritzer with strawberries, blueberries, tonic water and white wine, just to water my wine down a little bit. But regardless, like, I could drink half a bottle of vodka and be in a better condition than I am after like 2 glasses of wine. So I'm gonna be taking it easy on the wine. I'm gonna be watering down my wine, but who knows whether I'll be able to read when I've had a glass of wine. I am really enjoying the Well of Ascension as well. I haven't had a great deal of time to read over the last couple of days. I did do reading sprints last night and I read around 100 pages while I was doing those. Hamilton is like all over me because I've been out all day. But yeah, I am really enjoying it. I just wish I had a bit of chill time so I could actually sit down and power through it. I am still aiming to have it done by the end of the week as well, but we'll see how that goes. Do you have anything to say, Hammy boy? It was a cute day.
It's so true. Miss you the most. Pretend that I don't. I just gotta hold my tongue till I get there. Would it make you happier if I told you I was wrong? Will I know how I feel, but I hold my tongue. Hold my tongue. Would it make you love me more if I play
Hello, so I'm just checking in because I realised that I haven't really this week. And first off, can we just appreciate my tan? You can see here I've got some lines. I have taken my straps off today to try and get rid of these, but the damage is already done. I'm gonna have tan lines for the rest of the year now. But my tan is coming along nicely considering I've only spent like 2 afternoons in the sun. Also using sun cream because it is important if you're tanning to protect your skin. But that is where I've been all this afternoon. It's going on for like 4 p.m. now. I came in about an hour ago and I want to do a workout. I've joined Peloton as well because Madison from Princess of Paperback tweeted about one of the instructors once, and I just had to know like what the deal was with that, and I'm literally obsessed with Peloton. So I'm going to be working out very soon. But I placed an ASOS order last night mainly because I wanted just like a plain strapless top so that I don't have to like tuck all my straps in and stuff for sunbathing. But I also got some cycling shorts, which one just to wear generally but also to cycle in, and my order's supposed to be here before 4 p.m. so it's got like 7 minutes to arrive. I don't know how hopeful I'm feeling that they're actually going to be on time, but there's no point me starting a workout now if they are actually going to turn up. But I am still reading The Well of Ascension. I've pretty much just dragged my feet through it, and not like intentionally. Like I am reading a decent amount every day, like at least 50 pages. It's just I'm still feeling like the residual effects of the slump. There's other things that I would rather be doing right now than reading, like working out. Like when I'm in the sun I am reading, but I want to be outside. Earlier in the week I was playing some Divinity with Curtis. We're still on with that. I watched I started catching up on The Walking Dead. Curtis and I stopped watching it about halfway through season 9, so now we've finished season 9. We're at the beginning of season 10. In my opinion, The Walking Dead has gone completely downhill, and it was going downhill for a very long time. The events in the middle of season 9 just kept going from bad to worse, and they're still on that downhill trajectory where, like, understandably some of the cast members wanted to leave The Walking Dead. They've been in it for a long time, so we had all of those plot lines as they were all leaving in various ways. But then after that, the showrunners just like decided to kill all of the characters that were the only ones that you kind of cared about, and there's very little like original or early cast members left in it. So then the ones that they were killing after that were the ones that had been in it the longest, but by this point they'd only been in it for like 3 seasons. Like being in it the longest wasn't even a long time. So I was just getting annoyed with all the people that they were killing that were the only characters I cared about at that point after having stuck with the show for like 9 years. And I am feeling like they are still doing that, where I've up to like I've just watched the season 10 mid-season finale. But the reason I'm catching up is because I heard that the season 10 finale is the best episode of The Walking Dead in years, so I just want to see that really. And there are elements of it that I still love. There's still a couple of characters that are my favorite characters and have always been my favorite characters still in it. And I did watch an episode of Shadow and Bone last night. I'm avoiding Twitter because everybody's talking about it, and the hype, especially when it's like this, just really kills things for me. And as well as that, I don't want spoilers. But so far so good. Only 1 episode in. I think that the set design and the costumes and all of that kind of stuff, like the aesthetic of it, is especially immaculate. I really like the casting so far. The casting for Alina and Mal, 2 characters in the series that I actually really don't like, I think is really good. Like I think the casting for all of them, what I've seen of them so far, is really good. Like I still haven't seen Nina or Matthias or Wylan, and Ben Barnes hasn't really been in it yet, but I think the casting for all of that is really good, and the like characters of Mal and Alina I'm actually liking in the show so far, but it is very early days. So yeah, I'm gonna be carrying on with that tonight as well. But I'm on like page 420, I want to say, of The Well of Ascension, and I am really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying being back in that world. I, as usual, find Brandon Sanderson's writing to be really engaging. It's just kind of plot wise, I can't really think of anything that's actually happened in the 400 pages that I've read. I'm over the halfway point now, and I don't necessarily mind that it's slow because I do enjoy slow stories and I am really enjoying it. I'm having no problem reading it. It's just, I knew that the book was going to take a different turn to the first book because of how the first book wrapped up, and it's not necessarily even that I didn't expect it to go in this direction that it's gone in. I'm just still wondering what the eventual conclusion of this book, etc., is going to be, because I don't feel like there's like things happening very slowly, but I feel like there's going to be a bigger conclusion to this book, and I still don't really have a grasp on what exactly that is. So I'm still hoping to finish it tomorrow, which I think is going to be a bit of a tall order because I have like 350 pages left. And I am playing Fortnite tonight with Curtis and Ryan, as well as watching Shadow and Bone and doing my workout. I also have a video to edit my unhaul that's going up tomorrow, which is only short, but I'm going to get on with that now while I wait for my ASOS delivery, and hopefully at some point throughout the rest of the day I will also squeeze in some more reading. Okay, so it is Sunday afternoon, virgin on evening I guess. It is almost 6 p.m. I'm currently doing sprints on Stash channel. We're in the final sprint now and then I'm going to make myself some dinner. But today I have worked out. I went to Tesco because I needed to grab some noodles for dinner because we're having Thai chicken stir fry. Scheduled my video that's going up later today. Edited this vlog up until this point, and I've read quite a bit of the Well of Ascension. So it actually seems like finishing this book today is not going to be as difficult as I assumed it would be. I've only read 107 pages so far today, but I only have 150 pages left, and I just thought that I should come in and talk to you guys a little bit because I've just finished part 4 of this, and I've said that not a lot is really happening in this book. It's really slow moving. We're focusing on a lot of politics through a lot of this, and communication is just non-existent between the characters in this book. That being said, while it's been slow, while nothing has really been happening, while I've been struggling to find what direction the story's going in, it hasn't been an unenjoyable experience reading it at all, because Brandon Sanderson's writing is engaging. These are characters that I'm familiar with, that I really enjoy, and I've just been enjoying reading it, especially because some of the books that I've been reading recently, like just take Red, White and Royal Blue for example, really enjoyed it, but it's not my usual kind of book. So while you would think that something like the Well of Ascension, something like Brandon Sanderson would be difficult to read in a slump, it's my kind of thing. So it's just comfortable to read, and I've just been enjoying the process of reading it. And I also feel like I haven't read a lot of adult epic fantasy in a while, so it's just nice to be back into that as well. I'm feeling myself. I have just got to the end of part 4. I finally discovered, I think, there's always another secret with Sanderson, so I don't think I've got it all hidden down what's gonna happen, but I feel like I know a little bit more about what direction the book is gonna go in now. And after part 4, the book could have ended. Like, it could have ended there and this book would have been very slow, not a whole ton of things would have happened, but we've just had like a little bit of action, you know, and some conclusions to some plot threads have drawn to a close. The book could end here, but I know that it's not ending here. Like, there's still 2 more parts of this book left. I still have 150 pages, and I now know what direction the book's going in, and I hate it. I hate it. And I hate it not in a way as in like, this book is trash, I hate this book. I hate it in a way that's like, please God, no. Why does this have to happen? Can't we just wrap the book up here? Can't we just be done? I'm ready. That was nice. I was happy with how that concluded. Let's just go into book 3. Let's not do this right now. And I don't want to continue, but I'm going to, so I'll see you guys hopefully later today when I've read another 150 pages, I guess. Hey, hello, welcome to my, I was gonna say middle of the night review, but I'm being real dramatic. It is 1:45 in the morning on Sunday, but I did it. I really didn't think I was gonna do it, but I did. I have read 259. I don't know what that was. I should check. It was my phone. It's fine. It has like an ultra strong protective case. But I've read 259 pages of the Well of Ascension today, and I finished it. So I gave it 5 stars, but it was like, because I used the core pile system, which was created by G of Book Roast, where you rank like individual components of the book out of 10 and it gives you like an overall rating out of 5. It only made it into 5-star territory by 1 point, and full disclosure, I did give it that extra point to make it 5 stars because this book was incredibly slow, and I've said that throughout this vlog, and I've also said that that didn't make it unenjoyable to me. I was still enjoying it the entire way through when I was reading it because of how comfortable I am with Sanderson's writing right now, how much I just generally enjoy his stories and his methods of storytelling. But I will say that this is incredibly slow. It has a whole ton of character development. That's what the main bulk of this book is dedicated to, especially developing the character of Vin, giving her like a little bit more, I want to say, like duality, really fleshing out her character, resolving or creating and resolving conflicts for her, really cementing, I guess, her core values as a character. And also there was a lot of character growth in terms of other characters in here as well. Now, I don't really want to go too much into the character development for individual characters because I always feel weird like reviewing sequels in fantasy series, because even if I say like a certain character is my favorite character, I feel like I'm giving away who's still alive, which is a big problem when talking about high fantasy, especially when the books are this thick, because so much happens in this. Like the last 200 pages, I think it's just about 200 pages that I've read today, was so cram-packed, and it feels like in my time reading those last 200 pages that they could have been a novel on their own with like how much happened in them. But the build up to that, the 550 pages that come before it, is mainly like heavy politics and also character development. As I mentioned, communication is not a thing throughout this book. All of the characters are like off doing their own thing, not really communicating. Some of them are scheming against each other, some of them are just like real deep inside themselves that they're not really paying attention to what's going on and things that are significant that are happening to them, things that they don't feel the need to disclose to other people, or they're going through some shit and they don't want to say anything to anybody else. But those last 200 pages, oh my god, I was shook. There was a reveal that happened shortly after I updated you last, I think, that I was on sprints at the time, as I mentioned, and I like visibly reacted to it. Like I just wasn't expecting. As I've said before, I will say again, Brandon Sanderson is a master of misdirection. All of the information that you need to know throughout the course of a book is pretty much laid out for you early on if you're clever enough to put together the pieces. But what he does is he lays down this information and misdirects you in the perspective of the characters by making other things happening at that time more interesting or more like distracting to the character, which then pulls your attention away. And because the characters are disregarding this important information, you as a reader do as well. I mean, there's a whole thing, without spoilers, with paper in here. Like just the fact that we know what was going on with that paper, but it only actually becomes relevant like later on. It's just a whole I can't. When I was reading the beginning of this, I was like, Sanderson very infrequently, I want to say, has no point, and I just felt like there was no point throughout the beginning of this while it was still enjoyable, and then everything just coming together, oh my god. And then the end, I just kept reacting out loud to Curtis, as I do tend to do when I'm reading the end of Sanderson books, because I just cannot believe. You get to a point, you wondered why you ended up there, you wondered why you picked up the book in the first place, because you knew it was going to do this to you, but you're also just along for the ride. As usual, loved it. It's my best book of the month, but honestly I don't feel like I've had a spectacular reading month this month in terms of the quality of what I've been reading, and I do think I have really been missing high and epic fantasy. Get me excited about the books I'm reading. Sadly, next week I'm going to be moving on to Crown of Gilded Bones, which is a highly anticipated release for me, but I don't anticipate giving that 5 stars. But there are definitely enjoyable elements to that series as well, so tune into next week's vlog, I guess, if you want to hear my thoughts on Crown of Gilded Bones. And the last bit of information I need to give you guys in this vlog, I guess, is that Curtis has just well, not this moment, like half an hour ago, started A Court of Mist and Fury. So fingers crossed sometime in the next 5 years we will have a second part to that Akatar video that we made not long ago for you guys. In terms of live shows as well, I believe if you guys are waiting for the Fool's Errand live show for Elderling Long, that I think is going to be on the 23rd of May. It is a little bit delayed, but I have stuff going on early on in the month, which means that I won't be reading a lot, so I didn't want to put it close to that date. And then a couple of other members of the group have stuff going on, like deadlines and stuff, so we pushed it a little bit later, but we are hoping to be back on track for the second book in Tawny Man. That is it for this week's vlog. Still shook by this. I really want to read Hero of Ages right now, and if I wasn't starting a buddy read with Kelsey tomorrow, I would be seriously tempted. I have a busy week next week actually, because I'm preparing for a week off the week after. I just really want to read Hero of Ages right now, so hopefully the live show for this is going to be soon so I can dive into Hero of Ages, because I don't like to start the next book before the live show's passed, because then I'll get confused about what we're up to. But yeah, that is it for this week's vlog, guys. I hope you enjoyed it if you've made it this far. If you have, please don't forget to like if you liked it and subscribe if you wanna, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you'll go where nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.